It's 10:41 a.m. Ladies and gentlemen, you're still watching Davao Chamber's third general membership meeting with the theme Davao Priority Projects. This third GMM is brought to you by Alson's Development Infrastructure Corporation. Dagan salamat, Alson's DEP. Now, as we wait for the enactment of the CREATE bill into a law, it is important to note that the legislative process does not stop once a bill becomes a law. The law must be put into effect or implemented by different agencies under the executive branch. This morning, we will be joined by an esteemed panel of resource persons from different government agencies who will give us an update on various ongoing projects in the Davao region. It has begun with our first resource speaker. Our first speaker earned his bachelor's degree in electrical engineering from the University of Mindanao and his postgraduate diploma in urban and regional planning from the University of Queensland in Australia. From 2010 to 2013, he was the economist for at the Davao City Investment Promotion Center before becoming the officer in charge from 2013 to 2016. He then became the officer in charge of the City Planning and Development Office from 2016 to 2020. I met this speaker when he was still in his 20s. He was managing the famous Teen Center, where he advised teenagers about sexuality. So I think if he continued being the manager of the Teen Center, there will be no teenage pregnancies. Let's welcome City Planning and Development Coordinator, Engineer Ivan Chin Cortez.
Okay, thank you. Let me just share screen. And let me also greet my ninong Tony. I have a happy birthday. I think he celebrated his birthday this week. And congratulations also to, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can see and hear you.
Okay, thank you. And can you already see my presentation on screen? I'm just checking. Okay, thank you very much. So, pleasant day to everyone. Thank you for the invite. It's good to see familiar faces and warm smiles and white eyes that tell me to share something you don't know yet. That will be a tough one, but I hope my presentation will give ideas where the actions will be and opportunities awaiting therein. I will try to give as much information as possible within the time frame given to me. So let's start. Okay. So I'm tasked to present the infra projects in Davao City, and allow me to share with you the sources of funds for these projects, because they don't just grow like mushrooms. There's a mandate for LGUs to allocate at least 20% of its ERA into an annual development fund. But in Davao City, in the case of Davao City, we just don't stick to 20% for infra projects. That's why you will find there on screen, you will see there that we have inter-fund transfers from general fund to the annual development fund, because we're big on implementing infra projects in Davao City. Also, some of the sources of funds will be coming from trust funds by the national government agencies, as well as local government support fund from TBM and also other agencies. And given the limitations in our budgetary sources, we also coordinate closely with DPWH, DOT, RDA, and DOT and other national government agencies, so they can fund and take up the priority projects of Davao City. Okay. We get grants from national government agencies, and shown on screen is a sample of multi-year coordinative funding engagement with DPWH for our roads and bridges program. The one on screen is for District 3, totaling over 1.8 billion pesos, mostly found in the barangays of Kalinan and Marilog District, Lamanan also, and Saloy. For District 2, these are some of the projects also under multi-year for roads and bridges program. So if you're looking at the screen, you will find there that the 2020 was already taken up with DPWH under the GAA, or General Appropriations Act, and EP. And then if you're also wondering how we prioritize projects, no? So these are the sources of projects. These documents are the sources of projects. We have mandated plans, no? Mandated plans for other initiatives, such as the studies conducted with JICA and other agencies such as ADB. So for the mandated projects, we have the Comprehensive Development Plan. It's updated for 2019 to 2022. We have the Comprehensive Land Use Plan. This is for 2014 to 2022, and the proposed amendments for 2021 to 2028 is now scheduled for second reading at the City Council. So we're just waiting for the advice of the City Council as to when the second reading will be. We've conducted a series of committee hearings already for the amendments of the CLUP, or the Land Use Plan, or the Zoning Ordinance since October last year, no? To this year. Executive legislative agenda. This is the time when newly elected councilors will convene together with the mayor and the vice mayor to plot the priority projects for the city. So executive legislative agenda is also part of the listing of projects, wherein we get we take a look at how to prioritize those projects listed. And then we have the annual investment program, the barangay development plans, and specific studies and master plans, as the JICA flood control study, the IM for Davao, or the infrastructure modernization for Davao project, the ADB funded studies on transport modernization, and other specific plans and considerations. So for other specific plans and considerations, we have the road network development plan, we have the traffic management plan, mobility plan, urban services development plan, economy industry concerns, and social environmental considerations. So some of these plans are also incorporated in our comprehensive development plan. This slide is a reminder of our strategic triangle, no? Principle that a balanced and sustainable development can only be had if the government, the private sector, and the community, including the NGOs, the ITs, the marginalized sectors, and the academe, will work hand in hand, including working together for the checks and balances we need, and also in the participation of each one in helping build our city and our nation. On screen are some of the projects being undertaken by the national government for the benefit of the people of Davao. I will not expound on them as they will be presented by the concerned agencies. These are the Coastal Road Bypass Construction Project and the most famous Samal-Davao City Connector Bridge. Okay. So also in the pipeline additionally is the Davao City Expressway Project. This has three sections: the Maa interchange, the Panakan interchange, and the interchange that will connect Maa to Catalunan. Our guiding plan insofar as infra projects are concerned is the IM for Davao, as mentioned earlier. So this study provided a listing of infra projects which Davao City may implement for completion up to 2045. It recommended improvements in the road network, mobility, traffic, and urban services development. To give you a glimpse no, of what's inside the IM for Davao. On screen is the conceptual image of our future road network. Okay? Masyadong malaki. So I'll just conceptual image of future road network. You will find there on the left side of the screen is the present road network, and we're planning to have a better road network by having parallel loads. One of those is the bypass construction project, and also lateral roads is crossing each other. No? Our road network will make sure connectivity and even redundancy and accessibility is enhanced for better productivity and efficiency. Okay. So some of the major projects identified in that IM4 are the following. We have the extension of the Davao City Diversion Road, the Davao River Boulevard, Talong Viaduct, extension of the Davao City Coastal Road, the Bunawan-Buhangin Road, and the Samal Bridge. Those are included already in the 2018 to 2045 IM for Davao study. So this is an illustration of the extension of the Davao City Diversion Road. As you can see, if you're using the Davao Diversion Road, you will still have to pass through Bangkal. That's where the choke point comes in. And in order to solve that problem, you don't have to go down to from the diversion all the way to Bangkal just to meet the traffic there. So this is the solution provided in that study. So in that study, you'll find there that this is an illustration of how the bridges that will be needed in order to connect all these road projects, no? and provide that extension for the Davao Diversion Road. This will also require a tunnel, a 400-meter tunnel. The Talamo Viaduct is seen to decongest the Davao Bukidnon-Ulas intersection. This is also in the pipeline already. And then the extension of the Davao City Coastal Road. The extension of Davao City Coastal Road is also in the pipeline. This will connect the coastal road to the bypass road. The extension is in red line, and then you will see the dotted line, that's the Davao City Bypass Road. So from Bago Galliera all the way to the Turil coast, and then all the way to the bypass road. We are in the thick of things in finalizing the land acquisition activities of bus depots, bus terminals, and bus stops for a high priority bus system, which will have 1,000 buses replacing the 7,000 plus PUJs in the city. This is in coordination with the Department of Transportation. They are the one funding the project. In preparation for the HPBS, or the High Priority Bus System, the City Government of Davao is already implementing the DIBS, or the Davao Interim Bus Service. In the first quarter of 2021, we have already provided bus services for Catalunan Grande and the Diversion Road route. And the mayor launched these routes just recently. We also continue to address flooding concerns. The biggest flood control project that we will schedule for implementation is contained in the IM for Davao study again, which will include the study also was taken up after the IM for Davao. JICA also commissioned another group of consultants to take up the flood control and riverine projects, involving Davao River, Talomo, and Matina River. So in that study report of JICA, they have already suggested the strategies as well as the listing of projects that must be undertaken in order to address the flooding concerns in the downtown area. On screen, you will find there the possible sites, the candidate sites for retarding ponds, the biggest of which will come from the upstream all the way to the river mouth. Another illustration on screen as a result of the study is the widening and cut off of the Davao River. The actual size of the Davao River is illustrated on screen by the green line, that snake-like pattern, green snake-like pattern. And you will see there the yellow line indicating the proposed project of the river flood control project, which will cut off two bends, no, of the river along Maa, instead of uh, continuing with the snake-like pattern. They will somehow straighten the river, and then the spaces that will be provided by those cut-off lines of the river will be utilized for the relocation of those that will be affected by the project. On screen is the starting point of the coastal road, which is basically a reclamation project. This project basically avoided established structures along the shoreline. As a result of this strategy, there are spaces in between the road and the shoreline that needs development. Mayor Inday has decided that these spaces be utilized for greening the city's coastal area to complement the concrete project beside it. So again, the spaces that will be created because of the reclamation project, which is the coastal road, our technical people at the city has come up with this scheme for those spaces, which might include tenement housing, early warning device system, wellness and recreation area, wastewater treatment facility, underground flood control projects, because basically the coastal road created a fence, no, and obstructed somehow the flow of storm water from draining to the sea. But overall, the areas will be largely for greening purposes, as instructed by the mayor. So those areas that were created by the coastal road will really be largely for greening purposes. Earlier, you've also seen multi-million road projects for the rural areas in districts 2 and 3 for Marilog and Paquibato, but be informed that we have the PIS 911 infrastructure projects. This will allow our fellow Davaoenos in these areas better access to services and facilities, as well as improve their living conditions. When we ask them what infra projects they need, on top of the list are roads, water system, buildings for health centers and schools. If you will notice, these are areas which are not yet being served by the Davao City Water District. So when these barangays were given the 20 million funding from the national government through LCAP and local communist armed conflict project, most of the projects submitted were on roads and water system, as well as school buildings and health centers. Talking about buildings as part of the infrastructure menu of projects, allow me to show you some of the buildings being constructed in the city, which are aimed to pave the way for better public services. On screen is the CSWD, or the City Social Welfare and Development Building. And this project is already inaugurated. No? Blessing na sila dito. It is a 40 million project. And then you have the Museo Davaoenyo. The library project for Davao is a 4-story project wherein the higher you go up in that space, the more quiet it gets. Meaning, this is I'm talking about the library. The library is for the first floor, you can have group discussions. For the second floor, you have learning amphitheater. Third floor, you have the formal reading area where it's really very quiet. And for fourth floor, you have the administrative area and the AVR. Let me go back to the museo. Museo is a 195 million project, and this will be managed by the national government once open. So this will become part of the itinerary of every Davao visitor once completed. Okay, City Library again, 40 million, but the contract amount was 39.9. It's 100% completed in terms of the library structure, but we're still dealing with the issues on ISF in the parking area. So these are what's inside the City Library. We're still, if there was no pandemic, we would have already opened this to the public and then on a 24-hour basis. So people can have really a place wherein they can do their research and other academic pursuits, academic research in the area. Ground floor, that's the second floor of the area. Second floor features. We have the third floor. This is how it will look like. Fourth floor, administrative building. Okay. Fifth floor is roof deck. These are some of the suggestions for the utilization of the area. Another building is the city engineer's office. The contract cost is 60 million, but there's an additional allocation of 80, so it's already about 140 million. And then you have the City Health Office building at 60 million pesos. You will find this near the Bonifacio Monument. This City Health Office building is just beside the earlier shown City Engineer's Office. So magkapit-bahay lang sila. And then you have we have just completed the Los Amigos CHO COVID-19 laboratory. A project cost of 10,344,000. And then crematorium, this is also operational already. We have the mental wellness center. Notice to proceed was issued last December. Project is ongoing as progress of 1% as of January 31. And then the Davao City Special Needs Intervention Center, project cost of 4.5, is in ALS People's Park, Pelayo Corner, Pamaki Street. Entire landfill, where the landfill is needs to we need to have another landfill in the city, and we're targeting the areas beside it to serve the purpose. Instead of scattering landfill all over the city, we decided that it's wise for us to have the next landfill near the current one, so we will not really also scatter the not so pleasant amenities of a landfill. Also in our plan and pipeline is the Central, South, and Mid-East bus terminals. We're correcting the notion that Bunawan is the north of Davao, because if you look closely at the entire map of Davao City, Bunawan is really in the Mid-East portion of Davao City. If you're referring to the northern part of Davao, you're referring to Marilog in Cotabato. Marilog being in the northwest, and Cotabato in the northeast of Davao City. So we'll have terminals for provincial buses at the central meaning near Kalinan, south near Turil, and mid-east bus terminal near Bunawan. So we've already scouted areas where these terminals will be located. These are the areas being considered for the 3 terminals for Davao City, provincial bus terminals. So the idea there is really, I mentioned earlier about the HPBS. So once the commuters reach the provincial terminal, then they will switch buses from provincial to HPBS in those provincial terminals that will be established in the city. I'm mentioning here the city disaster radio, not purposely to encourage all of you to listen to it, because the mayor is always on board in this channel, 87.5 FM, but also because this is related also to my topic about infrastructure, because we are already allocating funds to construct the city tower for radio in the city, so we can have our own tower for this disaster radio. So thank you very much. I'm cutting this presentation short. I'll be very glad to join the open forum later. Thank you very much.
Salamat, engineer. You know, the Baweños are thanking the heavens that professionally you have migrated from sexuality and family planning to city planning. So we hope you can join us in the open forum as you promised. To our attendees in Zoom, you may send your questions in the chat box, and also to those who are joining us on Facebook, you can send the questions as well. We'll try to read and answer questions during the open forum later. As to the members who have not yet joined us, they do not know they're missing half of their lives. Robert Mugabe, the witty Prime Minister of Zimbabwe, has an advice for everyone using towel in the bathroom. He says, treat every part of your towel nicely, because that part that you wipe your butt today will wipe your face tomorrow. Now moving on to our next resource persons for this morning. Our next resource speakers who will give us updates on the Bypass Road and the Samal Island Davao City Connector projects are representatives of the Unified Project Management Office of the Department of Public Works and Highways. The first speaker is currently the caretaker for the Roads Management Cluster 1, while the second speaker is the designated project manager for operations for the design and build contract implementation of Samal Island Davao City Connector is IDC project, or the Samal-Davao Bridge. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome Engineer Benjamin Bautista and Engineer Lilibet Rico.
Okay. So, good morning, everybody. Thank you for the invitation to speak in front through virtual to the Davao Chamber of Commerce. In behalf of our Secretary, Mark E. Villar, and Undersecretary Emil Quesadain, we will be presenting to you the two projects, ongoing projects in Davao, one of which is the Davao City Bypass Construction Project. The next slide, please. So, okay. This Davao City Bypass Construction Project starts from the Davao Digo section of Pan-Philippine Highway, Barangay Sirawan, south of Toril, Davao City. Approximately 500 meters south of Lipadas Bridge. It will proceed on a northeast-west direction towards Barangay Marapangi and Bato, where it will shift slightly northwest direction upon crossing the Padas River. And then after crossing the said river, it will traverse Barangay Lubongan, Alambre, and will move northward into Barangay Gili, and Barangay Usiro until it reaches the University of the Philippines, Mindanao campus in Barangay Mintal. Then, as the alignment passes to boat proper, it will traverse the Davao. This is the Davao Bukidnon Road. Cross the Calomo River and then proceed on a northwesterly direction towards agricultural land in Barangay
Yung mga
Pacuna
questions na tina-type in,
and Matina, Biao. Cross another waterway, the Matina River, before it proceeds to the tunnel section here in Barangay Magtuod. After the tunnel section, it will continue in the same direction towards Barangay Waan, cross the Davao River. Yeah. And then continue towards Barangay Tigato. It will then proceed to Barangay Cabantian, where the alignment will shift into a northerly direction as it crosses the Lasang River and passes Barangay Comunal, Indangan, Mudyang, and Tubongco, where it will cross the mine tenement, the quarry of Holcim Cement Corporation. And then the alignment will then shift on a northerly to northwesterly direction as it passes through Barangay Mahayag. And next, another shift towards a northeasterly direction as it approaches Barangay San Isidro and Lasang. It will proceed in the same direction until it intersects with the Davao Bukidnon Road, National Highway in JP Laurel, Panabo City, yeah, where the alignment will terminate. The usual travel time between said points, taking the Maharlika Highway, is 1 hour and 44 minutes. But upon completion and operation of this Davao City Bypass project, it will reduce to 49 minutes. Next slide. So this project is to improve the transport logistics as what was shown earlier by the previous speaker, and mitigate the traffic condition in the Davao City urban area, thereby contributing to economic and social development of Mindanao. In addition, this bypass tunnel has an important role to unite the West and the East communities existing and under development, which are currently separated by a mountain. Next slide. So originally, this Davao City project, bypass project, was divided into two packages, but because the cost of this project is very big, so we further divided package one into three contract packages. Package 1.1, which is now ongoing, package 1.2, and 1.3. And then package 2, it also subdivided into three contract packages, package 2.1, 2.2, and 2.3. So, as I've said earlier, package 1 started December 21, 2020. Next slide, please. So this is now the implementation schedule. We are now on package 1.1, begins construction last December 21, and then it will be completed by the end of 2023. And for package 1.2, 1.3, it is now under procurement. And then also for package 2.1, 2.2, and 2.3, it will be procured by the third quarter this year. Next slide, please. So for package 1.1, The scope of work of Package 1-1, it is a construction of 4 lanes, mean to say 2 lanes each direction with the length of 7.9 kilometer with 3 pairs of bridges, length of 0.5 kilometer, two underpasses, 2 overpasses, 15 box culverts, 14 grade intersection, and 2 tunnel with the length of 2.3 kilometer. It is under contract with the Simisu, Ulticon, Takinakad joint venture, and the project cost is 13.2 billion and started December 21, 20 and will be completed. Expected completion will be January 4, 2024. So as of now, the project schedule, the status is we have achieved 0.48% accomplishment. Next. Next slide, please. And then this is now the ongoing activities of Package 1-1. We started installing the project signboard and also mobilization of equipment. Next. And also, in the next slide, please, next slide. We are now on the improvement and then also construction of the access roads leading to the main alignment, especially the portals of the tunnels, so that the equipment coming from Japan, especially the boring equipment, which according to the contractor is already for shipment, will be directly from the port in Davao. It will be directly transported to the portals of the proposed tunnel. Okay, next slide, please. So with regards to the another packages, package 1-2, it is a 4-lane also the road 2x2 with a length of 11.9 kilometer, 7 bridges, and 1 underpass along Davao Bukidnon Road. And then also package 1-3, this is also a construction of 4-lane road with a length of 5.5 kilometer, 1 bridge, and 2 cut and cover tunnel with a length of 0.5 kilometer. As of now, the status of these 2 contract packages, the project cost is estimated 5.63 billion for 1-2 and 5.58 billion for 1-3. The target start of this project is October of the last quarter of this year, and target completion will be on December 2023. Now, we are just waiting for the concurrence of bidding documents from JICA. Once JICA Tokyo concurred with the bidding documents, the procurement will start. So expectedly, the procurement will start by the second week of April. Okay, next slide, please. So this, with regards to package 2, which is, was divided into 3 contract packages. The contract package 1-1 is also a 4-lane road with a length of 1.4 kilometer and 7 bridges. 2-2, construction of 2.5 kilometer road, 4 lanes with 7 bridges, 3 overpasses, and 1 box culvert. Package 2-3, construction of 4-lane road, 9.3 kilometer, 6 bridges, 1 overpass, and 7 box culvert. The respective project costs are 3.17 billion, package 2-1, 4.21 billion, package 2-2, 2.74 billion for package 2-3. At present, the detailed engineering design is now on progress, and we will start the procurement of these 3 contract packages on the third quarter within this year. So that's all for road management cluster 1 under we are implementing the JICA assisted project. Now, daghang salamat and also always be safe. Next speaker will be my colleague, Project Manager Lilibet Rico.
To the President of Davao City Chamber of Commerce and Industry Incorporated, Maria Lourdes Monteverde, the members of this chamber, the fellow workers in the government and in the private sectors, a pleasant morning to everyone. In behalf of the Secretary Mark A. Villar, we wish to thank the Chamber for inviting the PWH and to share the updates on the Samal Island Davao City project. And as directed by Undersecretary Emil K. Sadain, I have the honor to present to this body the status or updates of the Samal Island Davao City Connector or SIDC project. May I ask Ms. Anna to share the presentation? I hope I could finish this presentation before I lose my internet connectivity.
It's
Thank
there
you,
now.
Ms. Anna.
You can see
Okay.
it now.
Okay. I may also check if I'm delivering a good audio.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. So if I may begin, the design and build contract of Samal Island Davao City Connector project will be funded by the Government Concessional Loan Facility under the China International Development Cooperation Agency or CIDCA. Next slide, please. The project SIDC is a proposed bridge in Southern Corridor to connect the Samal Circumferential Road in Igapos to Davao City across the Pakikutan Strait, passing over Lisade Street to the junction of Arcastillo and the Maharlika. It has a total length of 3.98 kilometers, including double ramps and a roundabout in Samal with a width of 24 meters and a navigational clearance of 47 meters. The project cost is 23.04 billion and will be implemented from 2021 to 2026. The project aims to provide a resilient and reliable transportation link between Metro Davao and Samal Island, enhancing internal and external linkage to support the growth potential of the Davao region, and would greatly benefit Igapos by way of providing access to tourism activities, enhance community access to employment, education, and other social services, and it will serve as an alternative route during emergency situations and disasters. Next slide, please. This project has been endorsed by several agencies. The Exodus Bridge in the Southern Corridor was endorsed by the Infrastructure Development Council Committee on February 26 and approved by the Regional Development Council on March 26, 2019. The CDC it was also endorsed by the City Development Council of Davao City Executive Committee, also endorsed by Igapos Council on October 28, 2019, October 20, 2019. Also endorsed by the Davao del Norte Provincial Development Council on November 14, 2019. The Sangguniang Panlunsod, City of Davao on November 19, 2019. We also received a resolution of the Office of the Punong Barangay, Barangay Vicente Hison on November 21, 2019. And the RDC resolution endorsed to the NEDA board through the Investment Coordination Committee the approval of the Samal Island Davao City Connector project. Likewise, we received a PAMBI resolution giving support or clearance to the SIDC being outside the Samal Island protected landscape and seaside of the expanded National Integrated Protected Area System. So for the project status, the feasibility study is 100% completed. The project was approved for implementation by the ICC Cabinet Committee on November 6, 2019 with an EIRR of 11.85% and was confirmed by NEDA board on November 29, 2019. Next slide, please. On environmental and social safeguard updates, the Environmental Compliance Certificate was already granted by the Environmental Management Bureau of the Department of Natural Resources on December 17, 2020. The SIDC team has started to mobilize in the project site to coordinate with the LGU and DPWH regional and district offices and other stakeholders on the formulation of the City Resettlement Implementation Committee intended for the purpose of a smooth implementation of right-of-way acquisition. For the design and build scheme, the procurement of design and build contract was carried out from October 2020 to December 2020 with the notice of award issued on December 14, 2020 and was confirmed on December 16, 2020 by the winning bidder, China Road and Bridge Corporation. The signing of the design and build contract agreement was conducted on January 14, 2021, and DPWH submitted the following day the signed contract agreement to DOF to head start the loan negotiation process, and that is for within the China ODA protocol. We first conducted the procurement before the start of the loan negotiation. So now, during the loan negotiation process, the loan application submitted by DOF is now being evaluated by China Exim Bank and the China International Development Cooperation Agency, or CIDCA, after we have submitted the required supporting documents such as the final FS, the EIS report, the RAP report, and the DPWH profile. So to summarize the implementation schedule, the project identification and preparation stage of SIDC started in April to May 2018. The feasibility study was conducted from November 2018 to November 2019. We were supposed to have conducted a detailed engineering design, but it was canceled from the ADP financing as it was impacted by the COVID pandemic. And so to meet the timeline of the China ODA, the procurement of design and build contract was conducted from October to December 2020, and so we're now able to submit the documents to China and now undergoing their evaluation. So the design and build contract implementation, hopefully, as we have targeted it to start in March 2021, but again, the notice to proceed is contingent with approval of the loan or the loan effectivity. And now, the next slide, please. Or the next slide. Okay. The next slide is just a graphical presentation of our timeline. But before I end, allow me to end this presentation with the visualization video for the better appreciation of SIDC. This is just a 2-minute presentation. And again, thank you very much.
Rico, for that